Pedram is coming on.
Can you hear me now?
We can.
Screen share coming through?
Yep.
Cool. It's perfect to go behind Viron. Super cool tech there. What I'm going to be talking about is just a whole bunch of tooling that I leverage to get my day-to-day shit done. And a side effect of all of this is one of my goals is I want to leave a virtual avatar just like Ron is building for my kids. Like, post-death, I want them to be able to speak to me and like get my answers on the subject in my tone of voice with the words that I would use. And to do that, obviously, you need to have a whole bunch of data capture. And that's one of the benefits of this like tooling stack that I'm using is I'm now just collecting a ton of data to help me towards that. And so I'll just start with this diagram real quick here. We've got third-party tooling in green, vibe-coded tooling in this reddish, the various data sources. Obsidian is the key, is the middle of it all. I use this basically for both my inputs and outputs for all Gen AI work. So all of my prompts live inside of Obsidian. And the tooling I use to bring those to life is a tool called Fabric. This is from one of our colleagues, Daniel Miesler. He's a security guy in the space. And it's just basically take a prompt and make a command line tool out of it. And this is super useful because you can do things like chain commands together. Like, let me just show one quick real world example from just recently. I was looking at this Google paper, and so what it's doing here is I'm fetching the PDF, and then I'm feeding it through FMP I have a whole bunch of shortcuts here. This is Fabric Multiplex Paper Analysis. So it's taking the content from this PDF fetch, and it's in parallel feeding it through all these different prompts, and then it's going to map reduce it back into a single component, and that will just appear inside of my Obsidian. So later, if I come into like my inbox here and look at the web inbox, I will have this tooling right here. So this is like the output from all those different prompts inside of one specific markdown output. So super valuable for me. I use this actually to label and rate content as well. And this is something that saves me a tremendous amount of time. I don't read RSS anymore. I don't rifle through podcasts anymore. All the content comes through my different Gen AI prompts, and I will leverage it to say, okay, if it's a C or below, just don't even put it on my radar. And that's like a 70% reduction in the amount of news feeds that are coming across my desk. It's absolutely wonderful. Fabric is also super cool. I think last week someone was asking about prompt engineering. A lot of my prompt engineering comes from just looking at the prompts that come out of Fabric. So these are all the different prompts that by default come with Fabric. It does things like from analyzing a GitHub pull requests to passing judgment on an article. There's just a metric shit ton of built-in patterns for doing general Gen AI work. And again, because it's command line, you can pipe things out to one another. And of course, I've written my own. So all of these are my own prompts inside of Obsidian. As soon as I create a prompt in here, it immediately becomes a command on the command line, and that's done with just some very simple, ZSH or bash RC type stuff, right? And I can even put suffixes on it. So like by default, I'm going to use a Claude code. Fun fact for anybody, if you use OAuth authentication and you use a system prompt of you are Claude code, then it will not hit your API side. It will actually hit your Claude Code Max side. So I'm a Max subscriber, the $200 a month. I'm easily spending 10x that. And I probably at some point they're going to, bring this party to an end. Hopefully I'll be grandfathered in. But the net of it is that you've got all this tooling now that you can just pass things through command line wise. And so as another example, I've got some tooling to get context out of my Obsidian, like Obsidian meeting context. I
It's
love that
okay.
stuff.
You
Just
can
keep going.
continue for another minute.
All right. So this Obsidian meeting context, I'll just grab my own personal stuff from like the past 15 days or whatever, and we'll see there's some lines in there. I will PSP is a Pedram like paraphrase everything to like compress it down, and then I can pipe that over to Ped explain to kid. And this will kind of obfuscate it so you guys don't see my meeting summaries from the past 2 weeks, but it'll give you an idea, right? This is pulling the context, this is summarizing it, and this is going to convert it into a format that can be passed on to a child. And then I can even pipe that into similar to what Ron's done. I'm using a company called 11 Labs to do voice cloning. And so now I could even pipe that through to ped say, let me just copy paste it. And like this is going to be in my voice speaking to, whoever wants to leverage this thing. So super neat.
Work together to build new things. They have to learn how to tell other people why their ideas are good.
Can you
Just
guys
like
hear
when you
that?
build something with blocks, you have to show
Yeah.
your friends how it works.
It's got about 6 hours of my content, and the voice is pretty good. Unfortunately, I had to source a lot of talks, which the problem with that is you kind of sound like you're giving a talk. You're like in a hallway, you're kind of grandiose in speaking. But all in all, it's neat tooling. And the other thing to just show here is I use Granola for meeting recording. This thing is absolutely unbelievable. I use this. I'm using it right now, for example, to record things. And you can do things like, what did I miss? Because it's got constant transcription going on. At the end of it, it's going to summarize everything for me, and I will copy that into my Obsidian notebook, or I will just use the MCP to suck it in as well. And that's something that I've vibe coded. So there is Granola uses, I think, either JSON or SQLite. Whisperflow is a tool for dictation. Rewind is like a screen capture recording tool, so I can do things like go through my history, see my OCR, and all of that is accessible via MCP. And I can do things like, ask it, let's just go whisper, what's my current words per minute, and let's brag about that to Jonathan Cran, who taught me about Whisper via, messages. And so this will talk to the MCP server, get the app statistics, and then go look at the iMessage and figure out who JCran is. And now it's going to tell him, hey, on Slack, I'm doing 192 words per minute via dictation. So a little more. I think the MCP is more of a toy, honestly. I mostly leverage the command line aspect of things.
We have some questions in the chat, and if you guys would like to give more time to Perdom, now is the time to vote loudly. Perdom, if you can go back to the chat and pick a couple of questions.
Yeah, sure. Let me go through this. What do we got here? 11 Labs is kind of expensive. I haven't gotten the bill yet. Not going to be happy about it. Pretty soon, North Korean IT workers will sound like Pedram. That's awesome as long as they give me a cut of the salary. Do you have a vector storage for knowledge graph for your notes for Obsidian? I don't. Actually, the power of Obsidian's just like basic tags and links is sufficient for me to grab all the context I want. One thing I do use is an extension called, what the hell is it called? Like Smart Context, I think. So for example, let's go to this inbox. I do this weekly post on LinkedIn. Part of the way that I do it is as stuff is pulled into the web inbox, as I highlight it, or if I clip something, it's going to show up in this like stream. And from here, if I just grab, you can do link depth. So this is one of the complaints I have about Obsidian is it has JavaScript rendering, but I can't get that from the command line. I need to actually get it from the app itself. And this smart context allows me to do that because I can say depth 1, it'll follow all the initial links and pull all that into a context. And now I can just paste that into whatever, like paraphrasing or whatever I want to do. The clipboard is a really common shuttling kind of bin for me when I'm, moving things around. Any other questions that stood up?
Did you write FMP yourself and use OAuth and tell it it's Claude code?
Yes, if you do, it is. So all of my Fabric commands are using Claude Code, using the Claude Code Max subscription. The multiplexer I have open sourced it. I think it's under, I'll dump on the link afterwards. But yes, it's the Fabric multiplexer, a simple shell script. It was vibe coded as well. And then all the prompts are defined and written within Obsidian. So for example, let's go look at, I don't know, the meeting participants is one I use all the time. I will grab a screenshot of the meeting, whether it's Zoom, Teams, Slack, Huddle, whatever, and I will feed that screenshot through this prompt to give me the list of people in markdown formatted linked names so I can quickly, generate meeting notes.
All right. Thank you very much, Pedro. Really appreciate your time.